What's happening, bromosexuals? I'm the man with the master plan, the Dude 250, Nikki D, and welcome back to the DUDEPOOL Gamescast. Today, I'm sitting with Taylor Sager, Aliens Exist.
Hey, guys.
And coming all the way from the glorious, great UK, it's Danny Sex Appeal. None other than Brutal Nature. What's happening, big dog?
Hello, gentlemen. I'm just sitting here talking to you guys. You know that.
I do know this, gentlemen. I do.
You know that.
I do indeed. We got a juicy topic for you today, you dirty motherfuckers. It is quite juicy, you know?
Filled with alien juice.
Is it juicy
That's
sweet?
gross. Yeah, the Triple X Files and alien juice.
The Triple X Files.
That's
Fuck. How is that?
It's actually a porn
that's
parody
gotta be,
already.
yeah,
It
right,
is,
okay.
absolutely.
Damn it.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
Fuck.
I do
that
a
was
lot of
gonna be our
masturbating
next
and I've
big
seen it.
thing.
Today's topic brought to you by porn. They're not paying us, but we like it. I want to talk to you a little bit about a game that got announced yesterday at Bethesda's conference.
Just a little game.
I guess a week or so ago at Bethesda's conference by the time this airs.
Yeah.
They announced a Quake
Champions.
the Quake. It's called Quake Champions. There's a lot of people online, especially on Facebook and shit. They're saying, "Oh, they're bringing back Quake. They're remastering Quake. They're rebooting Quake. They're doing this and that and the other." They're not.
No. No, it's not.
Definitely not.
No, they're not.
I was surprised to see that. It's a PC exclusive.
What? Why? Who does that? Who makes PC exclusives? What the fuck? Why? Who? Why?
That's the other. Like, why? Because maybe it screams. A move like that to me screams free to play.
Oh, wow.
Right. They've done Quake Live, which was a browser-based game.
Right.
Right.
I remember that, yeah.
And now I think they're just kind of expanding on that. Like, it's going to be a really scaled down game from what like the Doom release was like.
Right.
Otherwise, they would have called it Quake with a number, or just called it straight up Quake. Right.
Yep.
Quake Champions is like, it just screams
Yeah,
lower
it does.
scale
Yeah.
a little bit, you know.
This is what I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking they calling it Quake Champions because you're going to choose characters. They're going to be named characters that have different skills and
Yeah, you are.
things like that. Maybe different weaponry and stuff like that. Kind
Right.
of similar to Rainbow Six. And I also think that it's going to be an esports centered game. Whereas like it's going to be similar multiplayer to Doom, but it's going to be completely centered around esports and professional players, I think. And I
Could be
think
right.
that's why they're only going on PC, because they're not going to have casual players essentially playing it. It's just going to be a hardcore esports Doom / Rainbow Six kind of model that I think that they're going to go for. And I think you're going to have to pay for it.
Yeah, I bet you'll have to pay for it, but it'll be
Yeah.
cheap.
Yeah, hopefully not full price. Yeah.
It's gonna be a scaled down game. Like I'm sure it'll probably use the same engine,
Mm-hmm.
but it's interesting to me that they're launching like that, because the Doom multiplayer, which is gonna be very fucking similar to what you're getting in this, other than the picking
Yeah.
of characters, it's gonna play similar.
It
The
should
Doom
be.
multiplayer has got a lot of flack.
I like it.
For people getting tired. I like it too, to an extent, but I didn't. Let's be really honest. How much of it are we playing?
Yeah, there's but I mean, how much do you put into Call of Duty anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like we're the demographic that
But that's not the same, because we've put a lot into Call of Duty over the last decade. You've put fuck all into Doom and Quake and those style of games in the last decade, and we're already kind of bored of that multiplayer.
That's true.
Right? Like,
Yeah,
you
that
put
is true,
hours
yeah.
and hours and hours into
It's
the
true,
same
yeah.
Call of Duty experience, and it's been a decade since we played something like Doom,
Right.
and we got bored of it after a week online.
Yeah.
That's not good. And
No.
then you come out and announce Quake like that, like a quick turnaround, it seemed, right after, because Doom just came out.
I think that they're just trying not to have the same type of people. I think that they're trying to go on the back of Doom, and it's like Doom was like a way for them to see if people would get on board with that style of multiplayer, which it seems like it's not going as well as they had hoped. But it seems like Quake is just going to fill in that esports
I don't know
slot.
if
Like,
Quake
how
would
else could
play
you
a
do
lot
it,
like
right?
Doom. I don't know. I think it'd be faster, and I think it'd be weapon pickups in the map, and I think they'd give people
faster.
what they want in that regard, and a lot more jumping around and shit. Like, I think it would play more like Quake Live, which I don't think plays that much, as memory serves, like Doom does. I think Doom's a little bit slower and a little bit less jumpy, and you have your loadouts and shit.
That's a good point. I never thought of that. Like they're probably doing PC only because if you go any faster than Doom on a console, it's practically unmanageable,
Can't do
man.
shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it might maybe go faster. Yeah, but I mean, it seems like with the skills and stuff like that, you're going to be using those. There's a lot of different mobility skills, but I mean, they've only really shown the one trailer, so it's pretty hard to guess what the skills are actually going to be. It seems like there's one chick who can blink around. There's another dude who did like this crazy bull rush thing. There's just a bunch of weird.
It struck me as odd that they announced this Quake multiplayer centric game, and then they came out and started talking about how they're going to fix Doom's multiplayer. And I'm like, well, why do I care about one when the other's there? You know, and like, it just seemed like a weird move to me. Like, focus on one to really tell us you're hammering home.
A lot of
that's
people
the multiplayer we should play.
That's
Don't
true.
divide us.
Yeah. I mean, a lot
Just
of people
seemed weird.
seem to want Doom to be more like Quake and Unreal, and when it wasn't, they were very upset and quite vocal about that. So maybe that's why we got such a quick kind of Quake announcement right after Doom's come out. That could play its part, but yeah, it's interesting.
You don't think that they were planning on announcing Quake at this E3?
I have no idea
for
what
years?
anyone fucking plans, to be honest. It just
'Cause,
seems like it's...
I mean, I'm sure the game's been being worked on for
Sure,
a while.
certainly.
Absolutely.
At least at the same time as Doom, or around, or maybe just after Doom, right? Like when they finish Doom. They
I
could've
think
just
this is where they
moved right on
wanted
Quake.
to announce it because they had very little else to really announce other than that and Prey. Those were the two big announcements, right?
Yeah.
And
I think
Dishonored,
those
right?
were but that's already been announced. That wasn't an announce.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
right?
sorry, yeah.
At all.
Right. Yeah, it was last
these
E3
were
they did
like
that.
surprise announcements that they wanted. Like last year, they had to try and at least somewhat compete with last year's conference. They were never going to top it because you're not going to beat Fallout 4 announcement with a 45-minute gameplay trailer and intro and shit. So they
With
had
an
to
app
bring
you can
something else to the
download.
table. What else has a lot of clout? Quake. So talk about it, sure, but it's weird to me that like almost immediately after they started talking about how they know Doom's an unbalanced multiplayer and that they're bringing all these changes to it and they're adding a ton of maps and all the DLC that's coming out for Doom is completely multiplayer focused. Right? And so that was weird to me. I was like, wow, you're putting a really heavy emphasis on multiplayer for Doom when you really want people to play
Quake.
this other one.
Yeah.
Right? But maybe that's why they're dividing it onto PC only.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I think it's going to be a more professional
More of an esports,
esports. Yeah, I think that's mainly what they're going to go for. Like it's going to be like Street Fighter almost, you know, where it's like they primarily make the game for the professional level and they release it to the public to play if they want to. But I think it's like
And Gran
they're gonna
Turismo's
go
going
for
that way too now, it looks like.
tournaments.
But I mean, they're gonna go head to head with a few games. I'm pretty sure
Mhm.
Overwatch is kind of crushing, and it's going into the esports thing pretty heavy.
Yeah, Rainbow Six is trying to do it.
Yeah, but I mean, still the top dog is Counter-Strike Go.
Yeah, Counter-Strike
Those-
Go.
they have
Yep.
huge tournaments.
And Call of Duty
Yep.
still is up there. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
esports.
Call of Duty
yeah.
absolutely is up there. I beat the Call of Duty champion in a Street Fighter tournament at our esports event.
Nice.
And there's going to be Battlefield 1. That's going to be, they're going to have their own esports thing. The new Call of Duty is going to have another esports thing. Excuse me. Like all of these first-person shooters are doing their own esports.
And it's pretty funny because the esports, it's got a little pocket. It's a very vocal little pocket, but it's
Very
not
dedicated.
as big as it is as it
Thinks
I
it
guess
is.
is gonna be yet.
It's
Sure.
it's just
I think it's still at its embryonic stage in my opinion, and I think in the next 10 years or so, it's gonna
It will
start kicking
explode.
some serious
Yeah,
ass
it will
in
explode.
terms of
Yeah.
like competing with like viewer counts
Yeah.
of like your average sporting event.
The problem with it, I think, in my opinion, right now, is that there's just too many leagues, and they're not all as one.
It's not
league. Like,
unified.
yeah,
and
exactly.
it's
Like
not very
competing
well
in-
publicized when you can watch them, when the
Yeah.
events are, that kind of
where,
shit, right?
How?
Yeah.
There's no like set website to go to watch all of these.
Some of it's
tournaments.
hard to
There's
follow.
no
There might be.
set
I
channel.
mean, I haven't really looked for it.
I don't think there's just like an MLG. Like there might be. There's
There is
obviously,
definitely an MLG site where you can
Yeah.
go look at schedules.
That's for like that one.
Yeah.
One thing, right? Like there's Major League Gaming, which is like one franchise or one subsidiary, or whatever you want to call it, the big
ESL.
thing that does their own tournaments. And then there's
ESL is a
like
big one, yeah.
500 different other, like rosters of people and whole nationwide
Right.
setups that people are competing in, and competitors have to compete in all of these different
Right.
all of these different leagues.
But it makes sense to have different leagues. It does, because certain leagues have different games and different competition pools.
True.
It's like any other sporting event. There's just there's different leagues.
Yeah, that's true.
The
Yeah.
thing is, I haven't looked into it. I've never searched for an esports schedule. So there might actually be a unified website, or like people that are just like, hey, here's all the things.
Sure, yeah. There could be a third-party website that gives you lists of the different
Yeah.
games that are playing
The
in the
thi-
different
like,
leagues. But I mean,
What you're
on
saying is
the-
like you have to outsource it yourself to figure that out.
Yeah.
no. What I'm saying is that really the competitors and the leagues are essentially shooting themselves in the foot because they're not unifying and making it so that you can have competitors in the same leagues. So you'd have different leagues for different first-person shooter games and stuff like that, but it's all under the same umbrella of people who are broadcasting those shows and stuff like that. It's making it easier for the consumers to actually watch it and take.
I
part
mean,
in
that
it
sounds
and stuff like that.
lovely in a perfect world, but in reality, if you had one unified thing, you got to be able to fly these players around the world. Then, man,
Yeah.
like there's got to be a league for Europe. There's got to be a league for here. There's got to be multiples, because
Yeah,
the
they're always-
prize pools aren't big enough to fly these competitors all over fucking Canada or America or wherever, right? But just
if
not.
if you had leagues that were working together, right, and you pooled the prize pools together, essentially, so instead of going to 6 different tournaments where you're winning $20,000 each, you have one tournament where the grand prize is $100,000, right? And then that gets you actual people who give a shit, because then it's like, holy shit, one person could win $100,000 at this fucking video game. Like, this is pretty intense, and now this is a bigger thing, and which you can televise across like larger things, right? Like you put more money,
But that's
into
only
fewer
it's
things.
only for certain. Like you can't do the prize pools for certain games are fairly low. Like the only big one really, or the biggest ones, are Dota,
Yeah,
League of Legends.
yeah, and
Fucking
StarCraft.
It. That's StarCraft. You don't make shitloads of money at, really.
Counter-Strike's
Yeah,
getting a
Because
little
the
bit
viewer
up there.
counts are way lower. Yeah, but the
Little
viewer
bit.
counts are so low that they're not making that much money back on ad revenue and shit like
Right.
that.
In Korea,
and the reason,
they have whole
the
channels for that.
reason that Dota and League of Legends gets the money that they do is it's fucking completely crowdfunded. For a year, you can buy these things on Dota called the compendium thing or whatever, I think it's a compendium package
Right.
to support the international. It gives
Right.
you skins, it gives you
Right.
like bonus XP until the
Right.
tournament,
Right.
and they sell so many of those
Right.
that they get over $1 million of a prize pool and shit like
Right.
that. It's funded by the gamers that want to watch it and support it, right?
Right.
Other games don't have that.
No.
Period. Counter-Strike players don't do that.
No.
It just doesn't,
No.
right?
I know Rainbow Six is trying to do that with like different skins. You can
And
buy.
it's not working though.
No,
Like, there's just-
no. Because nobody really cares, you know. Like why do I care about?
But those
this
the money.
group of
That's
five
what I'm
guys who
saying.
play
Like, you
Rainbow
buy
Six?
different skins, but it doesn't go to a prize pool for a tournament.
Yeah.
No, it goes like for Rainbow Six, they're
It goes
doing
to Ubisoft, and they're like, "Thank you."
for Rainbow Six, they're doing a thing where they have these different packs, these skin packs and stuff like that, that are themed to their different esports teams. So you buy one, and the money goes to that esports team.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's super cool. I did
Yeah.
not know that.
yeah. So they do that.
They're taking the model from Dota.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very similar. But that I don't think that goes to like the prize pool. It just goes to support them while they train or whatever,
Mm.
you know, to support them to get them to tournaments and like that kind of
Right.
thing. You're supporting the actual team. But I mean, if like that's the only way that I think that you can actually make it a serious thing. Like is if you like, it doesn't have to be one necessarily league, but it has to be fewer leagues. You have to get them into a manageable amount of leagues so that you can get these prize pools to be a thing, and you can get the broadcast ability to be to the point where people can actually watch it and you can make ad
Yeah, but I
revenue.
don't. You say that like people can't watch it, and I'm telling you, if you Google searched it right now, you'd probably be able to find and watch them all easily.
Yeah, but
You
people
don't put
don't
any
want to
time
do
into
even
research.
that much work, right? Like we don't even want to do that much work. People
Yeah, they
want
do.
to just
Anybody
see
that
the
watches
ad.
any sport and is into any sport fucking looks at the schedule of their teams.
Sure, yeah.
That's the
They're
same
not-
shit.
But we're not trying to get the people who already watch it to watch it. They're going to watch it anyway. You want to get people who don't know that they
Yeah.
like it to watch it to see if they like it, and then they decide whether or not they like it, and then they can carry on watching it or not. But
Right.
you have to get people who don't know that they like it yet. Like that's
Yeah, and there's the only way to do that, social media.
yeah,
Because
and-
like sports has cable. That's
and making
different. It's a
more-
different
yeah, like
landscape now.
ads and stuff like that on YouTube.
I mean,
or
this
whatever.
whole topic's totally devolved into
Yeah,
esports now,
totally.
but whatever.
But I mean, getting more money, like banding together and getting more money to put into making it more accessible and making it more exciting to people is what's going to get people to watch it. Like, so if you have an ad on YouTube saying that this it's you got 5 teams going head to head for $1 million fucking dollars.
Right.
Now this is a fucking thing.
Yeah, they do that. They've
But-
done that.
And
Yeah.
people watch that. But I mean, most of the leagues, like 90% of the leagues, it's like they're going head to head for $5,000 or whatever,
Exactly.
10 grand. And it's like, I don't really care.
Well, then you don't like esports.
Yeah.
But you don't,
Is it just the amount of money that brings you in? Because if it's just the amount of money,
It's-
nobody watches fucking hockey because that guy makes $1 million a game.
no.
You watch it because you think it's exciting, you like to see the plays, and you're down with the sport.
Because
So
now
if that's not grabbing you, you're just not into esports.
there's a cup, there's a competitive thing, right? Like, and the Stanley Cup is worth more than any amount of money to somebody who watches hockey. Winning
Exactly.
the Stanley Cup is worth more than the millions of dollars that they get every
Right, so
year.
you want a Super Bowl of esports.
So there has to, well, like they've built that sort of, like with hockey and with other sports, they've built that thing that where this
Yeah,
one
but they
object,
just
this
did that.
winning
You
this
literally
thing.
were at a live event for the Canadian Nationals, right?
Yeah.
Did you watch the finals? You knew about it and when they were.
Yeah, for the Street Fighter thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for $10,000. Right.
That's fucking a lot of money. I don't know why you're focused on that. What I'm saying is, did you fucking watch it? Because that is the Super Bowl of Canadian esports.
Yeah.
They did the finals, and no is the answer. You didn't research it at all, and I'm not.
No.
So I mean, clearly,
But I'm also
that's-
I'm not a huge Street Fighter fan as well. Like if it,
Right, but
if we were talking about, like, let's say Overwatch or whatever, and there was an Overwatch Major League Gaming thing for 10 grand, and there was an ad on Facebook that was like, watch the live stream right now, I'd probably click on it.
Okay,
like, I've watched
the live stream right now, but that's not giving them.
Like, I've watched plenty of just like Major League Gaming, like, clips of Overwatch in the last few weeks because
Yeah.
I'm really interested in the game.
In
right now.
Overwatch, yeah, sure,
Right.
but
So,
that,
like-
that doesn't mean you're necessarily anywhere near invested to. Like, could you name a single esports team?
No, not at all. Right. But I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
can.
like there's like esports teams will have 7 different names for 7 different leagues or whatever. Right. So it's
No,
like,
no, dude. There's teams that carry over Dota, League of Legends, Counter Strike, Overwatch. Now,
Yeah.
there are actual teams like
Yeah.
Insidious and all these other
Yeah.
teams that are actually funded by companies to train
Right,
on
right.
all these different teams, different players with the same team name,
Yeah.
right? So you back that team
Yeah.
on that
Oh.
specific game.
so like an Insidious named 5 completely other guys playing
Yeah.
a completely different game. Like, it's not the same core people. It's not the
Correct.
any of the guys at all. It's just that name.
that's their team.
Oh, I
yeah.
never knew that they were doing that.
Yeah, and they represent different like parts of the globe.
What do you mean?
I mean, like this team is based out of California. This one's based out
Oh.
of that, but they're all under the same umbrella,
Oh, wow.
right? So yeah, you got fans that will back them and shit like that.
Right.
Yeah,
And, well, like this is the growing thing that's like starting out now. Right?
yeah, that's
It's
right.
like
They're in the
keeping-
embryonic stage, obviously,
Right.
but it's growing year after year after year. Yeah.
So Quake, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't think you've watched or looked into much esports stuff.
No, but I think that's like, I don't think I would be opposed to watching it, and I think that if it was like something that would grab people, or grab people like me who aren't necessarily in the boat where I'm going to go and look at all these teams right now, but if you're putting these things out there that make me more interested in it, right? As a person, like, or like they could be competing for more money, or these teams are like, you know, like even amalgamating the leagues together to make it so that there's less teams, like
right.
50
I like to
teams.
me, the money thing. I don't really give a flying shit about. It's never about money
Or
for
like
me.
the
I
level,
care
I
about the actual
suppose.
games and the skill moves that they do.
Yeah.
Fucking impresses me. Like I've sat on Twitch and watched Overwatch like full matches between these professional teams, and it fucking blows my mind the different strategies that you can come up with and stuff like that. Same with StarCraft. I've watched full tournaments of it.
Watched
Yeah.
quite a bit of
I've
Rocket
had
League.
fucking Dota international parties
Yeah.
with Ricky at his
Yeah.
house, where we all went there and watched it, just like a Super Bowl party, man.
Right.
We had chip and dips and fucking 15 gamers in there. Yeah, fucking go, right? Like, it's exciting shit, and it wasn't really about the money. So, I think that's the big deal. Like, if you are a competitive gamer in a certain game, that's more than enough to grab a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's not enough competitive gamers in every game for you to get the kind of revenue that they need, I suppose, right? The kind of like.
I mean, I guess
viewership.
you say Overwatch, right? You'd watch an Overwatch tournament?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, no, I've watched part of, like, I haven't watched a full tournament,
Right.
but I've
And
been
I wouldn't
watching.
say you're a super competitive Overwatch player.
Not at all. But I'm really interested in the game right now, right? Like, the game just came out. I'm playing it a lot. Like, I'm
Right.
interested in seeing how the best people can play the game.
Do you think
Kind
a
of thing.
year from now you would still be into that?
I don't know. It depends, right? Like, it's
See, I think I would.
like if a year from now, I guess I don't know. I mean, it's almost like you got to get a name, like a good, like a great player, like the Wayne Gretzky of Overwatch playing. You know?
Yeah, but I think that they do have people like that
Yeah,
in a lot of esports games, and I think again it's just us not knowing.
Not knowing, yeah, not getting the word out there. I want it to be a bigger thing, and that I think that that's what I feel can happen if the leagues come together.
Yeah.
Is that you can get it to be spread across more people and make it more of, you know, a sporting event instead of
They
like
just need more money. That's all that is.
exactly, yeah.
Like, look at how much money fucking NBA and NHL and all that shit has. The esports does not have a fraction of that.
But
So,
I mean, and
good
that's
luck.
That's
you have to
because
have
they
all these little individual, independent pockets coming up with the tournaments right now. That's how these things start,
Yeah, exactly.
right? Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah. No, you can't start any other way. But I mean, that's what I want to see from it growing in the future is coming together, like with the NBA, the National.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Basketball
Quake
Association.
is pretty cool. That was the topic.
It was. But yeah, I think.
And we
Quake
don't
is
even
gonna
know if
be
that's
esports.
going on. We don't know. That is totally unconfirmed
yeah.
speculation.
Yep. But I think that's the only thing you can do with it. If you're gonna release a completely multiplayer-centric game, that's gonna have very similar multiplayer to a game you just released.
Yeah, but also I will reiterate. I think it's going to be on a much smaller scale. I don't think it'll be a full price game
Yeah.
at all.
Well, Overwatch wasn't full price on the computer,
It was $50,
right?
right?
You didn't have to get the Origin edition or whatever on the
No,
computer.
yeah,
It was-
but
it
that's
was
just a different.
$40.
That's still a full price game to me. I'm talking. This game might be $20,
Wow.
right? It's doesn't look if you're doing it strictly on PC with an engine that already exists and you're just tweaking certain things. I don't think it's going to be that big. And you like, especially if you want an esports thing, you're going to want the biggest pool of players you can get. So, $20, somewhere around there. That's just pure speculation.
It depends on how much work they had to put into it. Yeah,
I think
don't
it's
know.
going to be a way smaller scale than Doom.
Yeah,
I do.
I think it's going to be at least $40 though.
Yeah, what do you think, Danny? Is Danny dead?
Still on mine. I don't hear Danny though.
No, me neither. Either way, that was our topic for the day. I
Hopefully
love you
Danny can hear
guys.
us.
If you liked the topic, make sure you hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And from us to you on the Dude Pool Gamescast, we'll catch you next time.
See you guys.